Alright, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises, all the glory, the honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that taught us truth, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel who are scattered worldwide, who are predestined to be saved. This is Brother Yakal, coming with a very short video, and Lord willing, you brothers and few sisters will be edified. Now, today's lesson is basically a history lesson, and again, this man called Ridley Scott, he's obsessed with Israelite history, obsessed with it. All right, he made Gladiator. He made a film called The Last Duel, which was about Israelites. He directed that film, The Kingdom of Heaven, which was about Israelites in the Crusades when we were ruling the Middle Ages. And now he's made this film called Gladiator 2, and there's controversy of it. It's not really controversy because the actual these Edomites that are complaining that Denzel's in it and this is the Roman Empire. Well, hang on. The Roman Empire had 12 Edomite so-called white Caesars, all right, rulers, emperors, all right. The last one was Domitian, okay. The last one was Domitian, and that is in the book of Ezra, all right, when it talks about the 12 feathers. Okay, that's about the 12 Roman emperors, man, who are Edomites. After them, all right, after Domitian, it was 5 emperors that took over in succession, and the first one was Nerva, and they called those emperors the five good emperors. And I've done this before in another video, and I'm going to show it to you, all right? Because I remember some, a black guy who is just lost, who doesn't know anything about history, who has been blinded by the white man's trickery. I remember he put a comment on my on one of the videos that I did, and he said, "Oh, the 5 good Roman emperors, they were all Israelites." Well, they were. That's why they were called the 5 good emperors of Rome, because each of them, all right, were reformers. They brought something different to the table, all right. Now, this is very important when we come to the film Gladiator 2, all right, because that's what we're going to talk about today, all right. The 5 good emperors precedes Gladiator 2, because in Gladiator 2, Denzel plays a man called Macromus who was a Roman emperor, all right, but for a very small period of time, man, all right. But in this film, and we're gonna watch the trailer, you're gonna see 2 emperors, all right, sharing the Roman Empire. Those 2 emperors were Caracalla and Geta, and they were sons of a man called Septimius Severus, who was an Israelite man, okay? Now, we're going to play the trailer, and we're going to come back, all right? Because there are some things this film got correct, and there's a lot of things it got incorrect. But this man, Ridley Scott, is obsessed with our history because it's fascinating. And this is the reason why, all right, it's very important to get your history, because your history shows you, number one, you learn from history, all right? Because I'm not going to tell you that Septimius Severus was a great leader, as in a fantastic moral standard leader. He was the leader of a Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was bloody, man, okay? But when he died, and he died in England, all right? He died in York. Now, we're going to play this trailer, we're going to come back, and we're going to get facts about this film, because this film is set in a time where Septimius Severus has just died, all right, and there's a short period of time on his deathbed, he said to his son Caracalla and Geta in York, in England, all right, to share the empire, to love each other, to look after the soldiers, pay them well, and to F everyone else. That was his message. So we're going to play this, and we're going to come back, all right?
Can buy his own freedom, because this is what they believe in.
Power.
Rage. And rage is your gift.
And by the way, this Colosseum was built after 70 AD. Alright? 70 AD. The siege in Jerusalem, man. Alright? 70 AD. Alright? Siege of Jerusalem. Alright? And this is what the Yahweh prophesied about in Luke 21 verse 20. When you see Jerusalem encompassed with armies, flee to the mountains. Alright? And the mountains is in Egypt. So 2 million Israelites fled into Africa. Alright? Fleeing these devils. Alright? And many of them got captured. But when they destroyed the temple and they took slaves back, you know, and basically they took slaves, Israelite slaves, back to Rome, our people had to build this fucking Colosseum, man. Alright? That Colosseum was made out of the bounty and the booty of 70 AD. This Colosseum that you see here in this trailer. Alright? So that's strike one, that this film has a lot to do with our history.
Because this is what they believe in. Power.
Karakalengita.
General cases. There are victories yet still to come. Rome has so many subjects, she must feed them. They can eat war. The arena turns slaves into gladiators, the gladiators into free men. You have something in you. I knew it from the start. Vigilant. Rage. And rage is your gift. This is about survival! Survive! Hold together, and when it charges, break for the wall. Whose head could I give you that would satisfy this fury? The entire Roman armies. Too much. The general will do. Rome must fall. I need only give it a push. We'll make it out alive. Alright, alright. Dance on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Colosseum floors.
This ring belonged to Maximus. Now I give it to you. What is the treatment for? People are not free.
I was on. Now I will control an empire. I will not waste another generation of young men for their vanity. Strike to Miller!
Hey, now there's the trailer, but there's so much to pick out of this. Now let's go into Septimius Severus. Now, Septimius Severus was an Israelite man, all right, and he was born in Libnus Magna. Now, I've done a video on him on the History Channel, but this one is quite telling. It's very short, it's very quick, and then we're gonna go into this character Macrinus that Denzel is playing, because he was an actual man that actually lived. Alright, but let's look at Septimius Severus.
Severus was a prominent African Roman emperor who reigned over the Roman Empire from 193 to 211 CE. Severus managed to rise to power in the Roman Empire and became one of its most successful and influential emperors ever. He was a skilled military commander and led successful campaigns in Britain and against the Parthian Empire in the east. One of Severus' most significant accomplishments was his consolidation of the Roman Empire civil war. He did this by establishing a strong centralized government and a network of loyal allies and supporters. He also had a significant impact on the city of London, then known as Londinium. Under his leadership, Londinium saw the construction of a large and impressive defensive wall that enclosed the city and provided protection against external threats. His contributions to Londinium helped to establish the city as an important center of commerce, culture, and political power.
And that's Septimius Severus, and he was a so-called black man. He was one of our people, all right? And he was born in Libnus Magna. Now, he had two sons, Caracalla and Geta, and they're in this Gladiator film, all right? But they're pasty white. Now, Septimius Severus, his woman, all right, and I've got it here. I've got it in the I've been doing my research. I'm going through some of the old videos that I did, and there's a bit in here that talks about Septimius Severus and his sons, and it's beautiful.
History is filled with lies.
Yep.
Near to the baths is a triumphal arch, dedicated to an emperor who came to power in 193 AD. His name was Septimus Severus. His period of office was a significant event in Roman history, though perhaps not for his achievements when in power. The importance of Septimius Severus lay in his background. Born in Leptis Magna, in present-day Libya, he was the first African to attain the highest position in the Roman Empire.
Alright, and that's not true. Alright, he was an Israelite. Okay? Because you are who your father is. Alright? Let's get that. You are who your father is, huh? Okay? That's how lineage works. Alright? It's not for your mother. That's why we know that those people over there in our homeland, they say, oh, your lineage passes down for your mother. Well, how can it pass down for your mother? Your mother is like the earth. Alright? Your mother is like the earth. She's fertile, man. Alright? She brings forth life. Alright? You plant a seed in that woman. Alright? Your sperm goes in there, the egg and so forth. Alright, it incubates, and 9 months later a baby comes out. And you are who your father is. Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees, their lineage, after their families, by the house of their fathers. Alright? The house of their fathers, according to the numbers and the names of 20 years old and upwards by their polls. So your lineage is based upon your father. So Septimius Severus had two sons, Caracalla and Geta, man. Alright?
The achievement of Septimius Severus should not be regarded as unusual. A feature of the Roman occupation was that it provided opportunities for native Africans to become as successful and wealthy as the Roman colonists.
Exactly. If you believe in Rome, if you work your way up, just like in America, you had Obama, all right, who, according to, what they told us, all right, his father was a Kenyan, which that's all bullshit, all right, because all those pictures of his dad and his mum, they've all been analyzed by experts, and they're all doctored photos. All right, so that guy's probably one of our people, man. But he was so disconnected from our people. He didn't grow up around our people. They got a Hollywood actor. All right, the guy that played who was in Superman, Man of Steel, the guy that was in the army, the black guy. He said on the interview that he had to shadow Obama and basically coach him in the ways of being an African American, relating to African Americans and so forth, because he was totally disconnected from it. All right, but I guarantee you, Barack Obama is an Israelite, a wicked Israelite. But that's just an example. That's in America today. And America basically is Rome reincarnated. All right. Did not Rome have a Senate? America has a Senate. All right. Rome had a Congress. America had a Congress. Okay. So history is just repeating itself. And just like Rome fell, all right, and it fell under our people, under our rulership, all right, our emperors, our people were the emperors at the end of the Roman Empire, Constantine and so forth, all right. That's how we got up into Europe, man. Okay.
Was the emperor embarrassment and had to be sent home to Africa. Despite this, Severus's political achievements were supreme, as were his tremendous building projects. Severus died in AD 211. After visiting the Roman province of Britannia and reinforcing its northern frontier, Hadrian's Wall, he died on the return journey in the city of York.
There you go.
His death, however, marks the start of a dynasty of African emperors.
See? African, you know they always call us African, but they were Israelites, man. All right. Now he told his sons, Caracalla and Geta, on his deathbed to share the empire, look after the soldiers, pay the soldiers well, and screw everyone else. All right. But did they listen? Well, did Caracalla listen? Keep watching.
He was succeeded by his sons, Caracalla and Geta.
Yep.
Caracalla then murdered Geta and had all his inscriptions bearing his name across the empire erased.
You see? So on his deathbed, man, on his deathbed, he said, look, love each other, look after the soldiers, all right? Pay them well and screw everyone else and love each other. And Caracalla and Geta did not get on, all right? They did not get on. Now, they shared the empire for not that long, all right? Not that long. Literally like maybe 10 months to a year. And then the mum, all right, Septimius Severus' wife, Caracalla and Geta's mum, all right, who was born in Syria, all right, a totally different nation, a heathen woman. So they looked what we call today so-called mixed race. But remember, you are who your father is. Septimius Severus was their dad. Sperm is the seed. So they were Israelites. And then Caracalla, this guy, murdered his own brother and took the whole empire for himself. Okay? Now, in this Gladiator film, they're making out that they're making out that as I showed you in the trailer, they're making out that them two pasty white guys with white paint on their face is Caracalla and Geta. Do those pasty white guys look like they would come from a dark-skinned black man like that? So strike one for the inaccuracies in this film, you know. But what does the Bible say? Because the Bible says, look, the Bible has instructions, right? And that's the problem that we've had. Because of our sins, we've been scattered. And we've kind of, like, our people are in England, our people are in America, and our people are so, like, we had the elections and so forth. It was sad to see that our people are so involved in elections. Why are you involved in elections? Because it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't matter what president comes in, all right? They know who you are, and they want to get rid of you, man, all right? But number one, this man, what's his name, Caracalla, who's in this film, all right? One of those two Roman emperors that you saw in the trailer, all right? Look at the sins that this man committed, man, all right? It is Exodus 20 and 12. It says to honor thy mother and father. This is in the law, all right? This is in the commandments. Honor thy mother and father, that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. All right? Did he do that? Did he honor his father? No. Because as soon as his father died, he shared the emperor for a little bit with his brother, and he killed his brother right in front of his own mother. His mum actually commissioned a meeting between them to make peace. Alright? Which was a good thing, but what did Caracalla do? Alright? Caracalla came to that meeting and killed his brother right in front of his mother. Alright? So that shows you how wicked, our people were for power, man. Alright? And then it says, in verse 13, thou shalt not kill, man. So that's another strike too for the conduct of Caracalla. Doing wickedness, man. Alright? And that's the reason why his reign wasn't that long either. Alright? It says, honor thy mother and father, alright, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God shall give thee. Alright? And if you look at Caracalla, and I've looked it up here, alright, if I could empress, kick off that. Alright, Caracalla. Alright. Let's see now. I think it's this one. And look at Caracalla. This is these are actual busts of Caracalla. Look at him. You can see that this is a man of color. Alright, look at his facial features, man. Alright. You can see that he's a man of color. Okay. Let's read a little bit of this. Alright. Caracalla, his real name was Marcus Aurelius Antonius, but became known as Caracalla. He often wore military cloak called a caracallus. He ruled together with his father Septimius Severus from 198 AD to 211 CE. In 211 CE, while the two were on campaign in Britain, along with Caracalla's brother Geta, Septimius Severus died. So on his deathbed, he didn't honor his mother and father. He went. He as soon as he got a chance, he killed his own brother, and he took the empire for himself. And that goes into that scripture where it says, "Train a child up in the way." Let's get it anyway. All right, this is Proverbs 22:6. Train a child up in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So I don't think Septimius Severus did that, man, because he was a military man, and yes, he was a father, all right, to Caracalla and Geta, but he wasn't around that much. You know what I mean? So he did, he didn't train his child up in the way he needs to go, because Geta and Caracalla couldn't stand each other, man. In fact, they had what's it called? A palace, and they divided it, man. They made sure that their paths didn't cross that much. That's why their mum, all right, did that council to try and get them. And guess what? To murder your own brother is something that is the spirit of Esau, man. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why the kingdom's gonna be beautiful, because all of that wickedness, all the curses that are on us, all right, like Deuteronomy 28:54, your eye will be evil towards your own brother. That's why Israelites kill each other over nothing, over power and or little things. All of that's gonna be done away with, man. Okay. Now there's a guy here on here that has done a bit of homework on Macrinus, which is Denzel Washington's character. He was an actual man that lived, and he is suspected that he was the one that was behind Caracalla's death. All right. Now Caracalla, all right. If you look at Caracalla, it says, I looked up Caracalla's successor. Macrinus was a successor to Caracalla as the Roman emperor. All right. So Caracalla ruled from 211 to 217. All right. Caracalla was the son of Septimius Severus and was proclaimed co-emperor at the age of 10 and ruled jointly with his brother until his death. Alright? And his death came in 217. Alright? And his death wasn't a good one, man. Alright? Macrinus, which is the character that Denzel plays, alright, ruled straight after Caracalla's death. Alright? Macrinus was a Praetorian prefect of Caracalla, and a prefect is someone that is a master of the law. Alright, so he was up there in the Roman Empire when it came to laws and so forth. He was accepted as the Roman emperor by the army and the Senate after arranging Caracalla's death. Macrinus faced several issues, including resolving conflicts left by Caracalla, who was more military than diplomatic. Alright, addressing Rome's dire fiscal situation, which was left by Caracalla's profligate spending. Yeah, he spent like mad, Caracalla, man. You know, and that's what power did. But hey, you know, the Bible says that, you know, if you honor your mother and father, you know, your days will be long upon the earth. Alright, his rule was very short, Caracalla. And by the way, his rule was a very bad one. I think there was a province in Rome. There was people that mocked him in one province, and he ordered soldiers to kill all of them, man. All right. So this Macrinus that is in this Gladiator film, okay, and there's a lot of slander of this guy Macrinus. Now there's a video here which goes into Macrinus a little bit. Okay,
The big city.
and this guy's done a decent job of actually looking up this stuff, and what he says is quite telling. Okay,
Pursue his career at story of Denzel Washington's character, and it's even crazier than Hollywood could have imagined. Denzel Washington is playing Marcus Aurelius Macrinus. He is known to history as Macrinus, simply as Macrinus.
and by the way, he was a man of color as well. He was born in modern day Algeria. All right, so he was. I don't know if he was an Israelite, but he was a man of color. So you have to understand that the Roman Empire, if you conquer territories, you need people to run those territories. And who best to run those territories than people that are locals, all right, who are down with the cause of Rome, all right? So you crackers that are getting twisted about Denzel's role, you ain't done your fucking research, man, all right?
And there's some differing accounts on his origins. There's actually a lot of rumors and slander written about his character for things that he had done later in his life. Many of the Roman historians viewed him quite negatively.
And most of it is bullshit, man. All right, most of it is absolute bullshit.
And they said crazy lies about him, like he was a poacher, he was a gladiator, even a prostitute in his early life.
It's rubbish.
But none of this is true. The rumor that he was a gladiator may be something they picked up on in the movie and something they want to run with, but it definitely was not true. He was born into an upper class family, not the richest and most elite.
And he didn't look like that at all.
Quite wealthy. Class was known as the equestrians. And he was born in the Roman province of Mauritania. At this time, the Roman Empire is at its pretty much its greatest extent. It includes North Africa. And so Macrinus was from a port city in modern-day Algeria, which was at the time called Caesarea or Caesarea. You can actually see the ruins of the city today in Algeria. And many of the chroniclers say that he was a Berber. The Romans would have simply referred to him as African. And there's statues of him. You can see how he looked. He came from quite a wealthy family. His parents would have afforded him the best education and upbringing
even though he grew up outside of Rome. And later in his life, he would eventually make his way to the big city, to Rome, to pursue his career as a lawyer. Macrinus, he wasn't a gifted soldier. He wasn't known for being a military man. He was known as being a very good administrator, good with finances, and a pretty good lawyer. There are some accounts of him which say that he wasn't the most knowledgeable lawyer when it came to law. He wasn't the most knowledgeable, but he was truthful, he was honest, and hardworking. And through his, his good nature, his goodwill, he made many connections in Rome, and he worked his way up into quite important positions. And during this time, it was the reign of an emperor called Septimius Severus.
That's right.
Who was a very tough, austere military man. He was a military-minded emperor who came to power through a civil war where he defeated all of his rivals and came out on top. So he was a truly tough man. And Septimius Severus,
and a black man.
He wasn't the greatest emperor of Roman history, but he left the empire in a better state than he inherited it, which is good enough. And so he was pretty good. And Macrinus is there working in the court in various positions. He was even given the role of managing one of the most important highways between Rome and northern Italy, which was called the Via Flaminia. And this was such an important position, a lot of responsibility. It's a very important trade route for the empire. So he must have been well respected and very, very competent to have that position. While this is all happening, Septimius Severus, he's coming to the end of his reign. He has two sons. His oldest son is called Caracalla, and his younger son is called Gita. And he has named them both co-emperors. He wants them, when he dies, to rule alongside each other like good brothers.
Yep.
But the way things played out couldn't be farther from their father's wishes.
Exactly. They went against, Caracalla went against his father's wishes, and which is not, and that's the reason why. And if you look up how Caracalla died, oh my gosh, Caracalla died in a very horrible way, man. You know what I mean? He was on, what's it called, an excursion, and he went to take a piss, basically, and a soldier came and stabbed him, man. And a lot of people said it was Macrinus that organized this, because after Caracalla died, all right, who took over? Macrinus, man. All right. Okay. So I'm not looking at this guy as, oh, okay, these are, this is our history and we need to acknowledge it. But the one thing we need to take from it is truth, and the truth is that it was a time where after the 5 good Roman emperors, all right, then Septimius Severus reigned, then after Caracalla and Gita reigned, and then Caracalla did what he did to his brother. All right. Now there's one guy on YouTube that I would say he's got it kind of spot on, because this guy acknowledges that this film is not as people are going mad. Oh, Denzel is a black Roman and this, that, and the other, but it's not as far-fetched. And this guy has done a bit of a research. Let's look.
The trailer also acknowledges naval battles in the Colosseum.
Alright, wait.
And others. Caracalla is portrayed by the actor Fred Heckinger, who, thanks to his uncertain death, Venus in Gaul and Britain, Ascanius, Niger, let's call
Niger.
him Pescanius N-word. And
All of these guys were Israelites. Alright? All of them were Israelites.
finally, Septimius Severus in Pannonia. Severus, an important historical figure who apparently doesn't appear in the new movie, was the one who managed to take out all the pretenders by himself and became the sole emperor of the Roman Empire. After 18 years of his reign, he left the empire to his two sons, Caracalla and Geta. On his deathbed, he wished for his sons to do the following: be harmonious, enrich the soldiers, and scorn everybody else.
Yep.
The brothers who then became emperors in February of 200.
I mean, look at these guys. This is supposed to be Caracalla and Geta. This is from the loins of Septimius Severus. All right, an Israelite man, a very dark-skinned Israelite man, austere. All right, ruthless. Go and look up his campaign that he did in Scotland, man. All right, he said, "To hell with everyone, men, women, children, kill them all, man." All right, so I'm not making out like these were holier than thou men. If you're in an empire and you come up in the empire, you have to follow the ways of that empire. All right. That's why the biggest change in the Roman Empire was what Constantine did. But they're trying to make out that this is Caracalla and Geta, man. And look how pasty look. They put white paint on their face. Madness, man.
11 stayed true to the last two wishes, but did the opposite with the third wish, which was cooperation. Spoiler alert, Caracalla killed his brother Geta after 10 months of the joint rule. Now, what the trailer got right so far about those two brothers. Caracalla is portrayed by the actor Fred Heckinger, who, thanks to his uncertain date of birth, is just destined to play Roman emperors and other historical figures.
Yeah.
Caracalla is the shorter emperor, which is a nice touch, because according to ancient historian Herodianus,
Yep.
Caracalla was indeed short.
Yep. And look at his and that's exactly how he would have looked. All right. Remember, his dad was a jet black man, and his mum, all right, his mum's name was Doma. All right, she was a woman from modern day Syria, so she was a heathen woman. All right, so he would look, like that, of color, not like this. Okay. All right. So they just, again, it's what's it called? They're just doing what the Lord said they would do. All right, which is just to whitewash history, man. And that's what they've tried to do. So here, I love history. When I saw this trailer, and actually the film, there's this box that I've got. All right, it's like an Android box, and you can look at films and download them and all that kind of stuff. This is First Maccabees 3 and 8, and laid open the Book of the Law, which is the Bible. And this is when the Greeks, who are Edomites, all right, so there's nothing new under the sun, where the heathen, all right, where the heathen and non-Israelites, who were the Greeks, had sought to paint the likenesses of their images. And what's that called today? Whitewashing. All right. So all this BS that this is woke is absolute madness. All right. In fact, if you look at the Roman armies back then, they were very multicultural. There's been different different documentaries showing that, man. Okay.
Ancient historian Herodianus, Caracalla was indeed short. He also led an extravagant lifestyle, which is also fitting for this actor.
That's true.
What they didn't get right about him is his overall frail appearance, because historical Caracalla was also physically very strong.
Yeah.
And accustomed to military life. Even when he got himself totally wasted, he still managed to march with other common soldiers.
Yep.
Which is a trait I just do not see with this character here. I just don't think he would be able to carry 20 to 30 kilograms of equipment after a night of heavy drinking.
There's so many subjects, she must feed them.
They can eat more! Okay, I take it back. This is the something what Caracalla would probably have said. Also, seeing the two brothers emperors together is historically wrong.
Yeah, they didn't like
They
each other.
hated each other's guts.
Yep.
Caracalla and Gedda even had divided the imperial palace into two, so the two brothers didn't have to meet. Whenever they met, it was like a Mexican standoff. They refused to get close to each other, and both of the brothers were always protected by a ton of their own Praetorians. Unlike Caracalla, nothing much can be said about Emperor Gedda, portrayed by Joseph Quinn. Gedda was eliminated by a masterful move pulled by his brother, who had already tried unsuccessfully to murder him. After the failed assassination, Caracalla offered peace talks between them with only their mother present. Gedda inexplicably accepted the offer, and then Caracalla attempted to kill Gedda again, and this time successfully. Therefore, we don't know much about him because Caracalla ensured that all of the memories of his brother were erased from the history forever.
Yeah, it's wicked, man. All right. So this is this is a film that when you watch it, all right, bear these things in mind. All right, bear these things in mind because this devil puts things out there in plain sight. You just have to know, you know, and that's why we have to do these videos, man. All right, and everything about Caracalla, the Lord did not like, and that's why he died taking a piss, man. You can look that up for yourself. All right, this is Proverbs 6 and 16. These are 6 things that the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look, and he was proud, man, Caracalla. A lying tongue. Oh yeah, I'll come for peace talks. He lied. And hands that shed innocent blood. There was no need to kill his brother in front of your own mum. All right. There was no need. Okay. All right. Verse 18. And a heart that deviseth wicked imagination. See, he had it in his mind to kill his own brother. So he did everything that the Lord, all right, said that the Lord hates. So that's why his reign was very short. All right. And he died taking a piss, man. All right. All right. Feet that run swift. Feet that be swift in running to mischief. All right. And that's what he was, man. Okay. So you have to understand that a lot of these films, these historical films, especially Ridley Scott, and all I'll say is, in closing, is that there was if you want to know more about that period of time of the transition of how the Roman Empire transitioned from being a pagan Roman Empire to a Holy Roman Empire, and Israelites getting up there, and the transformation of the pagan Roman Empire being the so-called Holy Roman Empire under us. All right, there's a good video that I did. It was about 6-7 months ago now, and I remember someone put a comment on there and said, you know, wow, this is really good information, because a lot of our people don't understand that Hollywood is just whitewashed and taken a lot of our history. They've taken other people's history because he's a bitch, because he doesn't have a good history of his own. All right, and this is it. It's called Hollywood Whitewashing Israelite History Part 1, and then you can watch Part 2 there. And one of the reasons why I put Denzel on there, on there, is because of that controversy. All right, but in this one, you'll see it, and it goes, and I go into the 5 good Roman emperors, proving that they were Israelites and so forth. All right, and Ridley Scott made another film, which is an Israelite film in the 1300s called The Last Duel, which was this one. And again, this usurper makes out, and it's a good film, but it's an Israelite film, man. based upon the time where we had the Crusades on and off. This was about the 1300s, and it's called The Last Duel. All right, it's an excellent film. So this is the part one, and then you can see part two as well. You know, for those that want to know. So, hey, those period pieces are like movies that, like Gladiator, that go back into a period in history. All right. Once you know that the history is ours, doesn't matter how many Edomites or crackers they put in that film, you should watch that film, because that is a part of us, the Lord getting giving us back our history, man. All right, because the Lord said what we will be what discontinued from our history, man. All right, we'll discontinue from our heritage, Jeremiah 17:4. But now we're getting it back. So once you see those films, the Hollywood directors, they're insiders, so they know, man. That's why they like to put a Denzel in there, just to create controversy and switch things around. But knowing, when you watch that Gladiator film, just understand and know that that period of time of that film, all right, that period of time, Caracalla, Gita, they were Israelites ruling the empire, all right, together, all right, and watch the film and compare the film to what it says online, because it's totally different. Because they make out like they're, they were okay with each other. They weren't. All right. So listen, I pray that you were edified. Until the next one, shalom.